Translation. Dear devotees, we are reading from Shrimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10th, Chapter 24th, Worshipping Govardhana Hill. Texts 16th through 18th. Translation. Every individual is under the control of his own conditioned nature, and thus he must follow that nature. This entire universe, with all its demigods, demons, and human beings, is based on the conditioned nature of the living entities. Swabhava word is used here. Swa means own. Bhava means life, own life, its own nature, birth, love. So the fundamental basis. The nature is unlimited, and we have our own spot in this unlimited space, very tiny little space, and it's called Swabhava. The whole universe is called Bhava. It's one of the names of Lord Shiva. It's full of life, Bhava. But we have our own Swabhava. That's what we know. Bhavasthan is based on some natural inclinations, our place in this whole nature, whole universe. So a person needs to know his own place, or Sambandha Gyan, his own place, as a body and as a soul. Two main factors. Together they are making Varna Ashrama Dharma. So it would be his Swabhava this way. And it includes everything in it. Our own Swabhava has our own spot, but beyond that we know nothing. We only can make the relationship, and thanks to those relationship, we can understand something. Otherwise, Swabhava is limiting us. We know nothing beyond it. But in our relationship with others, we might learn some more when we are get in contact with other Swabhavas, especially when we deal with Krishna. Our Swabhava is getting richer this way. So it's made to have the relationship, or in other words, for the devotional service. Thanks to devotional service, we get everything. Everything we have happening in the world, from this point of view, any great scientist or a group of scientists, or the scientific parampara have their own Swabhava, their limited nature, just like every living being. Even though they're very profound people, but still their opinion is placed in a certain spot. It could be bigger or less, but it's still just a little piece. And Swabhav, in a material meaning, it is limited by the false ego. Everybody thinks his point, his worldviews is bigger, and it is also can be said about the scientists, especially about great scientists. In this case, the science cannot classify, cannot determine this nature. Only it can fix or mention certain nature, describe. It's a known fact that the science is looking through a certain opinion on everything, and whatever through some concept, and everything that goes beyond the concept, they get rid of it. They don't take it into consideration. It's a known fact. There was a devotee who mentioned that there is a concept, it's not new. There is such a concept in Vedas as well, that in the universe there are 8,400,000 living forms of bodies, of living entities. And it should be judged or considered at the same time, not it does not go along with this Darwin theory. But because the scientists, they see that it doesn't go along with this theory, it should be done differently. They say that the universe is developing itself from the tiniest being to the more complex one. And they hide or get rid of the facts that would not correlate with that theory. And it's pretty much normal for all the people to filter things. So there are karmis and gyanis and yogis and bhaktas. This classification, and nothing should be going through filter. We just need to know how to utilize it on the way of this development. We cannot say that there are just gyanis or yogis or bhaktas or karmis and we filter the rest. In the modern world, this classification has been lost, and there is some approximate description of a person. Average person should have these and these characteristics. And since they filter it, all they make is just machines. So the modern days is good for it's known for its machine building, moving machines, flying machines, some gadgets that make it cooler or warmer, and people like the machines working for them because they kind of get into this liberation state. So they filter everything. They filter the labor and karma. And man is like the enjoyer this way. So whatever is not going along with this concept is being filtered by science, by ordinary people. There's a tendency for the devotees who are acting on a mental platform. They also filter Bhagavad Gita or Shrimad Bhagavatam. They take one of the verses and leave the rest, and they just preach their own svabhava. Let's take an ashram like sannyas ashram, vanachari, brahmachari ashram, grihastha ashram, and the rest. So if we take just one ashram, we will not be able to see the development in the society. Maybe it's correct that there are some varnas or ashramas that are more higher in this classification, but we cannot filter it. This is the problem. We choose one over another. Sannyasa is not the one who takes the sannyas, is not the one who is living by means of others. Brahmana is treating everyone the same way. He can join everything with the same respect. If this ashram is the highest one, and on that platform, brahmanas and sannyasis, they can break the whole world with this concept that they're superior. So they're going to break the consciousness of people. This Mayavada is breaking consciousness of people with its machines and gadgets. So there's a function that machine does. It is working. So no one is speaking about your happiness or liberation or your knowledge. It's been filtered. Everything we have left is just a machine. So it is very important to read scrutinizingly the Shastras, work with it, to deal with our false ego from the basis of devotional service. The highest varna or ashram means you have more responsibilities, more service. This way we don't filter anything. In the creation of God, no one is going unseen. Any form, any shape has its own place and spot. So that way there is a harmony, and we are trying to understand that harmony, not just our own swabhava, our own spot in this universe. We need to learn how to be respectful to all the living beings. This way we'll be able to develop. This is the development of consciousness. So we've just talked about this swabhava a bit. Everybody in this world is under the control of his own nature. And thus he must follow the nature. This entire universe, with all its demigods, demons, and human beings, is based on the conditioned nature of the living entities. So, when a person has no false ego, he knows these are just the steps of the development, evolution. But if he has a false ego, then he considers all the lower kinds are extinguishing all the resources for his development, his enjoyment. This is dangerous. There is a purport. Lord Krishna here elaborates upon the argument given in the previous verse. Since everything depends on svabhava, or one's conditioned nature, why bother worshipping God or demigods? This argument would be sublime if svabhava or conditioned nature were all powerful. But unfortunately, it is not. In Russian translation, it is written to, it is our fortune that it's not like this. But Srila Prabhupada in English is right. Unfortunately, it is not. This is a supreme controller, and we must worship him, as Lord Krishna will emphatically reveal in this chapter of Shrimad Bhagavatam. For now, however, he is content to tease his relatives. So you see, he is enjoying, Lord Krishna does, to tease his relatives. So we know how to build those machines. This relationship is pretty tricky. It's because it's based on a false ego. But when there is no false ego, they're not being offended, and they're just learning in this relationship, and they can bring a lot of happiness, even teasing one another. They would correct their mistakes and get more closer with the soul. It's a soul-to-soul communication. So if there is Swabhava, we can tease them with that. But this is Krishna consciousness. When we respect all the living beings and we respect this Swabhava, we understand this difference more and treat it with more respect. We understand that this variety for Krishna is a source of enjoyment. He's teasing his relatives. He's been copying the acts of peacocks. He's still in the butter, and when he's eating the butter, and he's like, your butter is of no good. He would feed the monkeys with it. And nobody is really getting offended that Krishna is stealing the butter. Everybody is playing, and this is like a sort of a game for them. They are not trying to protect the butter by all means or go into court and sue Krishna or teach him a lesson. No, they're just playing. And this game is everybody invited in this game. This is real Svabhava. When you do something and Krishna is copying, imitating you, and you see yourself through Krishna imitating you, just like seeing yourself in the mirror. But when you're mirroring in Krishna, you see how beautiful it is, because there is no offensive teasing, there is love, there is compassion. This Svabhava, it makes Krishna is amazing. Krishna is always amazing. He can tease his relatives, his close ones. But basically he's destroying this concept of worshiping the demigods, this stereotype, by that usually influence people. This is a tradition, and they were worshiping Indra every year. Nanda Maharaj did. And Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he came to Vrindavan by himself as a son of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. And Nanda Maharaj is worshiping Indra as a supreme being, thinking that they depend on him with this, there's wellness. And Krishna is like trying to show himself in a different way, not just as a child of them. And he's playing with Nanda Maharaj, telling him, why are you worshipping them? Why are you worshipping Indra? And Nanda Maharaj is trying to avoid this talk because he's just a young boy. But he has bhav. Nanda Maharaj has not only swabhav, he only has bhava, overwhelming love for Krishna. This love is covering him, his knowledge, everything, and he forgets that Krishna is God, the God. But with these arguments, Krishna is telling his father that this is the way you need to do. And Nanda Maharaj is agreeing. And it appeared to be that Bhava is more stronger than this Indra worshipping. He even forgot. He forgets this worship. He's like, okay, whatever. Today, Indra will, we're gonna ditch Indra and he's gonna stay without this yagya. This is love. We don't know God till the end, to the full. We know something about him, but we know how beautiful it is. It's better than demigod worshipping or anything else in this world. And it can only be understood in the relationship. Otherwise, we only filter it and we say, it's your religion, it's our religion, this is your God, this is my God, and my God is better than yours. But everything we see is already in God. Nothing is minor. Nazists or neo-fascists or communists or capitalists, who cares? Just accept Krishna, just chant the mantra. You will understand your own svabhava, you will understand the bhava, you will get this Krishna consciousness. When you merge into one God's body, you'll be all fine. Because all Vaishyas and Brahmanas and Shudras and Kshatriyas, they're all there, Brahmacharis, they're all in this body. Grihasthas are there as well. Vanaprasthas and Sannyas, they're all there together at the same time. This is like one swabhav of Bhagavan Swayam, everything together. And at the same time, he's an individual. This is how amazing he is. But he's not rejecting anyone. As a Brahman, he is supporting everyone. As a Paramatma, he gives the development to everyone. To any minor living entity, he gives the chance to grow. In Bhagavad Gita, it says that everything gets its development and no one is being rejected. But he might not know someone as a personality. Paramatma knows everyone. And he might say, I don't know this guy, because there is no relationship. Formal aspect is there, but for Krishna, he says, I don't know. Or sometimes he says, since you want it, I will do it, but that guy has nothing to do with me. He has no relationship. But since you're asking me, I will do whatever you ask. If a devotee is asking for someone, and Krishna is saying, well, I don't care about that person, but since you do ask me, then I will do what you want. This is the personality of Godhead. So this commentary is pretty short. We'll move on to next text. What is Krishna saying next? Because it is karma that causes the conditioned living entity to accept and then give up different high and low grade material bodies. This karma is his enemy, friend, and neutral witness, his spiritual master and controlling Lord. This is karma mimamsa. Karma is superior. And Krishna is sharing this theory of karma mimamsa. So the enemy is our karma, and a friend is our karma activity. And neutral witness is also our activity. If you add a super soul to it, because it depends on our karma, it should judge us. So karma is more superior. And my activity is most important. If I do something, then demigods give me the result. If I don't do, then they don't give anything to me. So it depends on me and my activity, and they have to do it. So I do something and I'm engaged in a devotional service, but there is no result. What about this karma now? It happens that we do something, put in our heart and soul into it, and there are no results. But in this case, the karma is being proclaimed as the highest law, purport. Even the demigods are bound and limited by the laws of karma. That Indra himself is subordinate to the laws of karma is explicitly stated in the Brahma Samhita 554. Yastindra gopam atha vedram ahosva karma bandhanurapa Pala, Bhajanam, Atoni, Atanonti. I'm sorry for this Sanskrit. The Supreme Lord Govinda awards all creatures the appropriate result of their work. This is as true for mighty Indra, the Lord of the material heavens, as it is for the germ called Indragopa. So, among the insects, there is such. The Bhagavad Gita 7.20 also states, Kamais tais ter hrita gyana prapadyante nidevataha. Indragopa. He know his value. He can, this insect, he can come and sit on the book of Bhagavad Gita and just take a walk there, and I had to take it off, shake it off. But he is not being offended or worried about it. He doesn't know that someone is making a problem. He has no problem. The end. Indragopa. This is their understanding of themselves. If you squeeze one end, the other one next to it, don't worry about it. He doesn't care. He's just taking the body and carrying it to some place. He knows nothing's going to happen to him. It's just that pal was unlucky one. He's an Indragopa. He has no friends or enemies whatsoever. So he was scrolling on the Bhagavatam page right now, and I had to shake it off. Only those who have lost their intelligence because of various material desires surrender unto demigods rather than worship the Supreme Lord. In fact, the demigods cannot award benefits to anyone independently, as stated by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Mayaiva vihitam hitan. All benefits are ultimately issued by the Lord Himself. Thus, it is not altogether incorrect to say that demigod worship is useless, since even the demigods are under the laws of karma. In fact, there is the case. But Lord Krishna, the Supreme Absolute Truth, is not subordinate to the law of karma. Rather, so beyond karma, the spiritual world is going there. Sanatana Dharma is there. And in these limits of Dharma, through our activity, we will not be able to perceive the Lord unless we are engaged in doing yagya, in which our swabhava is being sacrificed. And swabhava means also our property and our food and everything we've been identified with. Thanks to ahankara, we have this identification, and my property is also my identification. So yagya means I sacrifice something that I have. In the process, I understand that anything I can sacrifice to it, and it would work. The highest bhava is that when we all surrendered, we sacrifice everything we have, my mind, nature, and everything. So this way it is interesting that it is mentioned that all these are forms of our prarabdha karma, my wife, my children, my family, my house, my property, and this way I give it away, I sacrifice it to Krishna. And Krishna is beyond my karma, beyond the limits. But what is he taking? Everything that I give it to him is remaining here, but he is accepting my love. And this karma is being is going away. It's melting down. In the same conditions we have, this karma is pure one. It's not material anymore. Everything that is offered to Krishna becomes spiritual. Even though we are offering our mind or speech or our activity, it's just from outside it might be judged as the karma, as some activity, material activity, but beyond this karma, bhava is different. Swabhava, there is no this material swabhava to it anymore. And it would be called love for God. It's a completely different lifestyle. But your property is still there. Your house, everything is there. We offer it to Krishna and we get bhava. Swabhava remains in this material side. This is how we distinguish this spirit and matter. This is confirmed in the verse from the Brahma Samhit quoted above, the third line of which is Karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam. The Supreme Lord burns up all the accumulated karma of those engaged in His loving service. Not only is Lord Krishna above the laws of material action and reaction, but He can immediately dissolve these laws for anyone who satisfies Him through loving service. Thus, the Almighty God is supreme in absolute freedom, and by surrendering to Him, we can escape the bounds of karma and stop accepting their dismal rule as supreme. Usually, the regular karma is empowering the ahankar, the feel of being proprietor. A person would plan things and make some organization and put some efforts and hire people and engage in himself, and he's being engaged into accountant and he's learning all this material science. And this is a great activity, karmic activity. It organizes all the planets in the universe. There are some great karmis like Daksha, and he's worshipping Lord Vishnu, but he's acting like karmi. He's doing his karmic activity. And all universe is like a conglomeration of karma. So it is not easy to prove to someone like this guy that there is something beyond. And Nanda Maharaj is pretty simple. He's a Vaishya. He was not taught all the Shastras. Shastras is just a waste of time for Vaishya. They should know their own business. They should worship the Lord with their own nature. So Krishna is saying Indra is dependent on our activity and all the demigods. So we just need to know what we should do and we're gonna get any result. Indra, there is nothing to do with Indra or rain. If you think that Indra is in control of the rains, then how would you explain that this rain is watering the ocean? So it means it's imperfect. And he's given some examples like about gunas, like Indra is following the gunas, and there is a machine of guna karma machine is working. What's the point of glorifying him? We can avoid him and skip him, and then still would be good. He is following the karma. Just like in the shop, you pay and they have to give you the product. This is a karmic relations. And Prabhupada is saying, in the material world, there is no such relationship, not among the demigods, not among the human beings or demons. the host, the head is hiring people, he's paying them, and he's maintaining them because he's working for him. So there's a karmic bounding, and beyond, you cannot go beyond this karmic activity, either fine or rough one. Even Brahma is worried about his creation. Indra is worried. But Krishna, he doesn't worry. The pure devotee, he doesn't worry. He's just living this material body, material world with no regrets. They're free of karma. But karma is following by greed and envy and lust. These faults are being rooted in the relationship, and it spoils it. All the karmic activity is going thanks to these tools, the lust and greed and anger. And once a lady said, after listening to the lectures, she said that envy is very important to have it, because there would be no progress in this material world. And I say yes, it's, if people are not envious or angry or lusty, there would be no development in the material world. There will be no activity. But there would be a progress of envy. So karmic activity rejects the selfless activity, selfless love. There should be a gain. But if you're engaged 100% in a devotional service, it's impossible. They would say it wouldn't work, because this way you would not be motivated. And this is true. Without God, there is no way we're going to be motivated. If we don't engage ourselves in the service of the Lord, we will be disappointed. So this is an experience of a man. And karma kanda is being explained here. Karma mimamsa, I'm sorry. That is being preached by materialistic people. Krishna is putting Indra in one line with all those materialistic people. And Nanda Maharaj, since he's loving Krishna so much, he pays no attention. He's taking this concept easily. He doesn't care about him because he loves Krishna. He's a pure devotee. He's liberated soul. He's like, it doesn't matter what karma, what form of karma there would be. He's a simple person. He loves and he does. But Indra got so angry and because of that, he was furious. Nanda Maharaj, some king of the cowherds, and he's listening to this child. This child is making so many apparatus, and he's listening to them. There would be no yagya without me, because everything is growing, because I'm sending the rains, and he's saying, me and me and me, I, me, mine. And this way, he's bringing his anger, his tool, his servant. In a karmic world, there would be, it's an obligatory thing. There would be a war. If you're a proprietor, so Krishna is bringing Indra to this stage and showing his imperfection this way. It was a lesson to him. If you do something, teasing someone, and when he's getting angry and irritated, he understands that he's not God. He becomes depressed. He doesn't want to talk to you. And this is a good chance to understand your imperfection. It was possible for Indra, but for many people, it is not possible. Many people remain with these faults for their lifetime. So Indra understood his imperfection when he was angry. He was meditating for a long time. Indra didn't want to lose such mighty state. There was a yogi, Vishwamitra, and Indra, he stopped his meditation for a little bit. Then he realized that he has his purpose in life, and he went back. He went through lust, and he went back to meditation. He was still after searching after gain, and lust came to him in the form of Menaka. The karma was very high because that woman was from the heavenly planets, and she became an obstacle for him. With this understanding that mistake, he started to meditate, but he couldn't deal with his feelings because he was waiting for the results. This is what he was doing all the time. I was putting so much effort into this. And then another Apsar came from Brahmaloka. She was even more superior than the previous one. And Vishwamitra understood his lesson. He understood his mistake, and he became angry. This is another sign of karmic activity. So he cursed her immediately. And since he was in the meditation for God, he realized that it was a mistake, and he understood that I'm imperfect. Still, I could turn her into stone. I'm not in control of my feelings. Karmis, they cannot control their feelings. This is their special thing. They start with this all good motto, and then it goes into competition, and then they start to do some illegal activity and some production, and then it's really just the lust, and then anger, and then greed. But you remain on the same spot. This is the human civilization. They stay in the same thing, even though they're acting all the time. So it's just creation and destruction. So Krishna was like teasing Nanda Maharaj, but the main thing was in a different field. But Nanda Maharaj was loving Krishna so much, and it reveals the real essence of Shrimad Bhagavatam. We have nothing to do with karma. We can worship Indra or not. It depends on Krishna's will. If he wants to, yes, we will do it. He would say, we need to respect him because he's a devotee, and we say, yes, sure. Because Krishna loves all the devotees, we show the respect, but not because we are after this karmic gain, not that because we're going to be paid or we're going to be promoted. Krishna wants it, so we do it. If he doesn't, right now, then no respect for them. And Nanda Maharaj is saying, like, today we're going to worship the mountain, the hill, just the hill. In the eyes of irritated Indra, it was like a pile of rocks. And Nanda Maharaj is just some ignorant, cowherd man. Because of his position, his karma, his being angry. And Krishna is saying, like, everything is karma. Indra has his own karma. We have our own karma. We have nothing to do with Indra. We've earned that. Now we have it. So Indra is insignificant. He's like a trader. I paid, he gave it to me. And Indra got so furious. They're sweeping their feet on me. And Lord Chaitanya was saying, you can do whatever with me. You can leave me, abandon me, you can tear me apart. I have no karma. I would still serve you life after life. I have no one but you. I am at your lotus feet. You can do whatever you want with me. And Indra was not like that. He was a devotee on the material platform. And if he forgot who Krishna was, or Nanda Maharaj, he wanted to destroy and kill everyone. This is karma. You see, karma is very dangerous. To be a karmi is a big problem. At least you need to become a jnani. You would filter some concepts. It's still connected. Jnana and karma correlated because they understand those scientists and like the karmis. They given them technical condition and they work. So this is our topic today. Do we have any questions today? We've been talking for 40 minutes approximately, and we can discuss. Remember that you can ask questions. Prabhu Vishnu Prabhu. He's working on his ahankar right now. So you can ask him how his work is going. Okay? Hare Krishna, dear devotees, let me remind you that one question we're going to take from the chat and one question we're going to take from Zoom session. We still have a few people from the last time that didn't manage to ask their question, so they're going to have the priority today. And we're trying to give the priority to those who missed that opportunity last time. Since there is no one right now among them, then let's take Shyam Al-Khadini.
Hare Krishna, мои поклоны. У меня вопрос по лекции.
Hare Krishna, I have a question regarding the lecture. In the beginning, you were saying Krishna might not know the living being. Paramatma knows, but he might not know or might not be interested in it. How do we know if Krishna is interested in us, if he knows us? And this devotional service, on the Paramatma level, there is a devotional service, and at the same time there is on the level of relationship with Godhead. Well, Guru is Paramatma, representative. He is not representing Krishna. He does not. So we have a relationship with Paramatma. We have close contact. Sakshat Hari Samastra Shastra. We have this through the spiritual master, contact with. And Krishna is something different. Of course, it's a Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no difference between Paramatma and the fountainhead, but Guru is representative of Paramatma. That's why Krishna, he doesn't see us yet, because we are on the way, we're in the process. When Krishna sees you, you will feel it. You will feel his glance immediately. On the other hand, I don't want to upset you, that I should say that you, because you engage in this, you had some glance of Krishna, especially on you, Mataji. So don't worry.
Гуру Махарадж, вопрос из онлайна, из чата. Преданные спрашивают, для чего мы после каждого круга Махамантры повторяем Джай Шри Кришна,
Why do we chant Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda after every round of jap? After every round, you don't have to do it. You do it 3 times before your japa session, and then you do Mahamantra, and then in the end you can do. Of course, you can do before every round, but Prabhupada, he was not doing it like this. It would be enough to do 3 times in the beginning, because we chant Hare Krishna mantra by the mercy of Panchatattva. Otherwise, we will not be able to get any result because of the offenses we're making. Since we're making the offense, consciously or not, we will not be able to be heard by Krishna. But Paramatma is always with us. When we chant Hare Krishna through Panchatattva mantra, then there is no offenses. Lord Chaitanya, he doesn't accept any offenses. He doesn't hear that. He accepts this form of chanting. So in this way, Hare Krishna mantra is heard not by Lord Krishna himself, but Lord Chaitanya. But Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself. He hears the mantra, but in the mood of Lord Chaitanya doesn't accept any offenses. He's just spreading the love for God to anyone who just wants to do it. It doesn't matter how perfect or imperfect he is or prepared. No conditions being counted. You want it, you get it. So first we chant Hare Krishna Panchatattva mantra, and then we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Спасибо большое, Гаджиханда Прабhu.
Gajahadra Prabhu.
Микрофон не работает.
Put on your mic.
Гаджиханда Прабhu.
Харе Кришна, у меня интернет плохой, поэтому может даже не получиться.
My internet connection is not so good, so.
Харе Кришна, дорогие преданные. Читание Чандра Charan прабhu, Харе Кришна, мои поклоны. Примите, пожалуйста, посчитанные. Вопрос такой. Кришна, когда начал разговор с Нанда Махараджи, он включил дипломатию.
When Krishna just started to talk to Nanda Maharaj, he was more doing some diplomacy. He was telling things that were not real. And diplomacy in the society of devotees is a big imperfection. But regarding God, the God, sometimes he's cheating you. Just like Lord Chaitanya, he was moving to the southern India. He was saying that he was looking for Vishwarup. But there was a lot of cheating done then. He was breaking his stick, and he went with Nityanand Prabhu. Many of facts there.
Ради кого мы делаем? Мы можем же обманывать себя. Делая грань понимания.
So where is the age of understanding what is good and when, if I am not for any gain, when I'm allowed to act this way? So your question is about holy lie, right? There's a transcendental cheating.
Нет интернета.
Just like we're spreading the prasadam, we're also cheating the people. We're saying, we don't say that it was this food was offered to the Lord. Sometimes we don't give the full explanation to people. But if you're not saying something to the full, it doesn't mean it's lie. Like karma mimamsa is the truth that was not spoken to the end. And Krishna is telling this karma mimamsa, he's not leading it to the end. He's not getting in the details of this explanation. So it is not cheating. But when your cheating is hiding God from people, then this is real cheating. This is a lie then. You filter God. Like scientists. They reject him. Then it's a great lie. If you accept the existence of God, you can speak of many different topics. It will be a little cheating, but it's not a lie. If I understood your question correctly. Any other questions?
Вопрос из онлайна следующий. Преданные спрашивают, что значит оказаться в духовном мире, не пересекая географических границ?
What does it mean to be in the spiritual world without crossing any mundane borders?
Да, да.
This is Krishna consciousness. Your consciousness is in spiritual world. Your mind is placed in the spiritual atmosphere. And your body still remains in the place where it was. This is Krishna consciousness.
Chandra Charan prabhu, Alankar prabhu.
Alankar prabhu.
Дорогой Гуру Махарадж, у меня с прошлой встречи такой вопрос. 3 мая на встрече международных учеников вы говорили, что необходимо действовать в сознании Кришны. И надо научиться быть счастливым.
On May 3rd, you were saying that you need to learn how to act together in Krishna consciousness. How do we make it in practice? Because there are always many obstacles on the way. How do we act correctly in Krishna consciousness so we stay happy? We have an expert in false ego here. He's working on this study for a long time. He might answer your question and I will just add a bit. Well, I will do it briefly. There is a spiritual master. He's saying, we cannot overcome our false ego by ourselves. We cannot go against the laws of material world. So, spiritual master, he can engage us in a devotional service. In the beginning, in the very beginning, if we surrendered ourselves to a spiritual master and he is dictating for us what to do, we are being liberated from the activity, any activity. We just do whatever spiritual master is telling us. So this is the question. How our external life correlates with these instructions of spiritual master. If we dedicate our life according to Guru Tattva, then we act in Krishna consciousness. I should add that if we are not bounded by some sort of gain of the activity, if we are not bounded to the results of the activity, we're going to be happy naturally. Any activity would bring happiness if it's not connected with the result. Like children, they play and they're always happy. They don't make any bets. They just playing. They're not engaging any money into it. They play and they enjoy it and they like, oh, this is so good, oh, amazing, cool. So whenever something is done, they just throw it away or leave it and run towards some other game. For parents, it's a mess. They have to be taught to act properly, karma, proper karma. But we need to arrange that playing into a certain line. We have some knowledge, we have some activity, but we should not be bounded by the result of the activity. Whatever is coming and going shouldn't bother us. Then we're going to be happy as children. Any namahata or puja you make at home, any kirtan, any prasadam, when you honor the prasadam, you're going to be happy. But if you try to put some labels or tags on it, then you're going to be all stressed, going to losing your faith in yourself. So be as children. Thank you.
Гуру Махарадж, следующий вопрос из онлайна продолжает ту же тему про то, что значит оказаться в духовном мире. Преданные спрашивают: примите мои поклоны, пожалуйста, а что значит предложить ум Кришне?
What does it mean to surrender your mind to Krishna? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that those who study this Gita is worshipping me with his intelligence and mind. This is yagya. You are not thinking about sense gratification. You're trying to understand the words of Krishna and sadhu, and this is yagya, the sacrifice. It's not like everything is clear to you, so you put your efforts into it, and it means you dedicate your mind to Krishna. And there is an interesting thing that is coming. The understanding is coming. The things are being revealed to you, the essence and the meaning is being revealed. The truth has been revealed to you because Krishna is accepting our tries. He is reciprocating. He's telling us the Bhagavad Gita from inside of our heart. We try to understand it with our mind, but then within our heart we get the meaning. And we think, wow, it's so beautiful.
Харе Кришна, дорогие преданные, примите, пожалуйста, мои поклоны. Дорогой Гуру Махарадж, примите, пожалуйста, мои поклоны. Вопрос такой: если действуют гуны материальной природы, какой смысл тогда говорить о долге?
The modes of material nature is acting. Why do we need to talk about duty? The duty is beyond the modes of material nature. It's not coming from karma neither. Duty means Krishna consciousness. This is a spiritual term. Duty is dharma in Sanskrit. Dharma is one of the names of the Lord. This is the duty to the Lord. This is how Bhagavad Gita starts. First you have dharma, then artha, then kama, then moksha. So these steps, dharma is staying through all the steps. Krishna service. In the end, all of those steps have been merged together, forming the love for God. If there is no love, then a person can follow his duty path. realizing the position of God and his own position. And if you go the way, if you walk the way of sacrifice, then it's dharma.
То есть понятие долга не относится к кармической
So,
деятельности вообще. Это не
duty is not
другое.
karmic activity. Well, you can say that modes and karma is like a machine, and duty is the driver.
Механизм природы, так скажем, да. А вот водитель — карма.
Спасибо большое.
Или точнее сказать, водитель — это душа, конечно же, душа. Но
The driver is the soul, of course,
путь — это
but the
карма.
path is dharma. In
Путь —
other
это
words,
карма, водитель, конечно же, душа. Можно так сказать точнее.
that would be more precise.
Гуру Махарадж, вопрос из чатов еще один. Характер, является ли характер свабхавой?
Can we call a character swabhava, or it can be changed through the lifetime? In the material, from the material perspective, we can say yes. When we manage to develop our habits, we say a habit is a second nature. This is an inherited nature, and it can be also called as swabhava or guna karma. In a material sense, material meaning, there's lobha, right? It's greed. Kama is lust. And these terms are being used both in the spiritual and material determination. So material world is being described by the same terminology, but in the aspect of material nature. So swabhava is my own nature, but there is spiritual nature as well. Material nature is controlling me in this case.
Спасибо, Рупа Маджари При.
Харе Кришна, примите, пожалуйста, мои поклоны. Вы сказали, что мы должны уважать каждое живое
You said we need to be equally respectful to all the living entities. Do we need to take into consideration their nature, right? So if we're not rejecting them, we think they cannot think this way. We should not think that he might think differently. So do we need to learn how to deal in this relationship? Let's say in a close relationship, we still have some offenses, and sometimes we think ourselves being offended. How do we express our opinion without opposing others' opinion or rejecting it? Vasashesha Prabhu, he's always respectful to everyone. So it's a question to him. Well, it's a simple question if you ask me. For Lord Chaitanya, it is natural for him to act respectfully. Everybody is worth of respect. The Lord himself, he is all respectful. But what you need to learn to do is to not expect to be respected. Because we expect to be respected. I was respectful So I have to be respected as well. But we should not expect on that. We should not count on that.
Доступ каждой личности. Даже на расстоянии работает этот принцип. То есть можно
It
почти на
works
расстоянии
even
молиться за кого-то.
on a distance. You pray for someone, and it has a great effect. Krishna is on Golok, but we still subdued to him. We're subsequent. So this mentality you need to understand. The mindset. When we see a person, we cannot say anything in his presence, anything bad. But when he's going away, we think, now I can say something negative. But this is a wrong understanding. You need to always treat people as if they are always present next to you. This is what we need to learn. We are in the process. People might think that they're mistreated, but this is a choice. They try to enjoy their life. This is their choice. Actually, it's not that important. You've been mistreated. Who cares? You need to continue your life study. Krishna consciousness is important.
Да, Гуру Махарадж, еще один вопрос из онлайна.
One more question.
Александр Чичулин спрашивает, что Шрила Прабхупада в книгах часто использует выражение
It
умозрительное
is very often
рассуждение.
that Srila Prabhupada is saying
И вот,
mental speculation in
что же
his
оно значит?
books. What does it
Понял,
mean?
что не понимаю до конца смысл этой
I
фразы
realized that
«умозрительное
I don't
рассуждение». Можете
understand this term, mental speculation.
иллюзия.
Mental
Все
speculation means
рассуждения
illusion.
ума, они иллюзорны.
This mental platform gives you an illusion.
В какие бы их формы ни облекали,
In any
эти
forms,
концепции, они иллюзорны.
these concepts would be
Это так же, как
illusionary.
дети играют. Прабхупада
It's
сами
just
так
like
ученых людей с детьми.
children, when they
Дети
play,
играют, там
Srila
строят
Prabhupada
настоящий
is
дом. И ты
comparing
представляешь,
these
что это настоящий дом.
people with those
Это игрушки.
thinkers.
Это
Like
умозрительные
children,
концепции.
they play, let's pretend we
Ученые,
have a
они
house,
могут
this is a
как-то
house. And
создавать
so the
великие
scientists, they make
гипотезы,
these
теории, облекать в такие, знаете,
hypothetical
логические цепи
theories.
мощные. Но это просто детские
And
игрушки.
it would be a strong chain of mental speculation.
Это
But this is not real.
Собственно,
just like
с них
that
начинается
game.
разрушение ведической цивилизации.
Actually, this is the beginning of destruction of Vedic civilization, when the most educated class of people start to speculate, building theories. This is how it can be destroyed. Any philosophical concept should be proved on practice immediately. If it's not followed by the result in practice, then it means you're speculating. Remember Akbar and Birbal. Sometimes Akbar would say something, or Birbal would say something, and Akbar wouldn't believe. But then Birbal would ask for some money to prove his vision, to demonstrate that this is the way I was saying it and this is the result. Then it's an honest approach. Otherwise, this science becomes a rascal science. Even based on Vedas. You see, we need to prove our words on practice.
Это все умозрительные вещи.
Otherwise, it's just mental speculations. They're saying this is a mind chariot.
Она никуда не едет.
It's not going anywhere. This is just an imagination.
Все великие мыслители
All the
попадают в
great
ловушку
thinkers are
концептуальную.
being snared this way.
Мгм.
Харе Кришна, спасибо. Лала Бихари.
Харе Кришна, дорогие преданные, Харе Кришна, Чайтанья Чандра Charan прабhu, примите, пожалуйста, мои поклоны. Я вот хотела спросить, а вот когда возникает необходимость, а, м, как это вот сказать, ну, то есть необходимость как бы в бхаве, которая выше, чем
When there is a need
опыт
to get high above
моих, ну, как бы вот
than
моей бхавы, да, то есть когда
my
прям вот
own
такая
bhav,
сильная необходимость возникает вот в том, чтобы понять, не то, что даже понять, а вот
the
именно
need
уже
to
как бы
understand,
начать действовать, да,
or
вот
the
в
need
бхаве,
to
которая
start to
выше,
act
да, как
following
работает вот
the
этот
highest
механизм,
bhav.
как бы вот,
How does it
чтобы
work?
мне вот войти в то, что выше.
How do I
Это речь.
approach to this
Шраванам
highest
Киртанам.
thing?
Это речь.
It starts with
Если
the
ты
Shravanam
занимаешь
Kirtanam, the
язык
speech.
сознания Кришны, ты
If
можешь
you utilize
испытать
your
эту бхаву
tongue,
более высокую.
you can,
Почему? Потому
with
что
it,
ты
you can
повторяешь эти высокие вещи,
experience
которые
this
выше
higher
находятся.
bhav. Because
Например,
you
мы
would
говорим о Кришне.
repeat
Кришна выше находится. Но
this
мы говорим о нем языком. И
concept,
при помощи языка мы
higher
можем ощутить эту
concept.
бхаву.
We're talking about Krishna, and
Называем
Krishna
нашим
is
языком,
higher
нашим
than
языком. Это
us,
служение.
our bhav.
Вот так мы
This
можем
way,
почувствовать более высокую
we
бхаву.
can feel it
Мы говорим о более возвышенном.
higher.
Например,
We
когда ты
speak
говоришь о духовном
about
учителе,
more
прославляешь
elevated
Бхагавата Пуджи,
things.
или читаешь,
Or when we
обсуждаешь книгу
speak
Кришна или
about
Бхагавадгиту, как раз это тот самый процесс, когда ты можешь
spiritual
почувствовать
master,
более
when
высокую
you
бхаву,
do Vyasa Puj,
чем в
you
которой обычно
glorify a
живем.
spiritual master, or you glorify something that is higher than you. It elevates you.
Спасибо, Гуру Махарадж. Еще вопрос из онлайна. Вчера, отвечая на вопросы, вы сказали, что побороть вожделение и нарушение четвертого принципа можно только внимательным воспеванием святых имен.
Yesterday you said that
Есть ли
only
еще какое-то средство?
scrutinizing chanting of holy name, Mahamantra,
Знаешь, какое средство?
you can overcome the lust
Если уж если сейчас подумают,
or violation of the
сразу сказал,
fourth
нет,
principle.
да, кроме святых имен.
Are there any other means
Вериги еще существуют,
to
вериги.
reach
Чайтанья
that?
Чандра Charan прабhu.
Ну-ка, расскажи.
Well,
Расскажи.
besides that, there is a religion.
Ну, это в христианской практике
It's a
такое самоистязание тела.
in
Вериги
Christianity.
называется.
Во, хороший метод.
When
Вот
you
давайте, да, кто манту не повторяет, как раз вот здорово.
when you
Я поддерживаю.
sacrificing
Как это
your
практически
body,
расскажи, Читание Церкви.
how is it on
Ну, это вот
practice?
такие палочки, типа как нунчаки, знаете? Ну, вот,
You take
две
these
палочки
sticks
собраны. И вот себя человек вот так вот
and you
истязает.
hit
Бьет
yourself
себя,
with it.
как веником парится, только со всей силы.
You hit
Только по
yourself
спине
with
или по голове
very
можно тоже?
strongly.
А не знаю, вот там в зависимости
I
от
don't know. You
творчества.
can hit. It depends on you, but you can
От
hit
степени
your
восприятия.
back or your
По
head.
сюжету. А? Хороший метод.
It's a good method, huh?
Поэтому не советую.
Well, I don't know.
Что скажешь? Я за вообще. Ты как?
I think it's good.
Ну, это прямолинейный человек. Но этот метод неизбежный, потому что если кто-то не занимается
Well,
методом
this
служения, он
method
занимается уже
is
самоистязанием.
inevitable
Они друг друга истязают.
because if you're not engaged in this
Даже на специально это делают.
spiritual practice, Krishna
Как бы муж и
consciousness,
жена
then
специально вредят друг другу
you
всю жизнь,
beat
понимаете?
yourself up all your lifetime, like
Этот метод.
husband and wife.
Ну, вот тут
That's
сейчас
what they
такой метод,
do.
скажешь, что
But Vasudeva Prabhu is against it.
Мне жалко просто, не то, что я против, я понимаю.
He feels
Иногда
pity and
сложная
sorry for
ситуация.
it, for the situation.
Но лучше общаться с теми, кто верит в Святое Имя.
It's better to deal with those who
Достаточно просто
trust the
несколько
holy
раз
name.
произнести Святое Имя, от вожделения ничего не остается.
If you chant
Любой
a holy
может
name
получить это.
several times, the lust goes
Еще
away.
дополню одну вещь практическую, да, потому
And
что
I
как
would
раз
add from the
Chaitanya Seva
practical
напомнил мне о
side. Chaitanya
практической
Seva
стороне,
reminded me of
не
this
только
practical side.
трансцендентная медитация,
Not only
конечно же,
transcendental
может не сразу
meditation,
стать
of
совершенной, я
course,
понимаю.
it cannot be perfect
Вожделение
immediately,
остается,
and
пока
lust is still
медитация
there
несовершенна,
while
да,
you're,
она
you're
должно как
meditating.
бы, ну, присутствовать вожделение, ощутимо,
It can be
мешать.
there for some time
А есть еще
and be an
один
obstacle.
практический
So there is
совет,
another
уже
practical
не
advice,
трансцендентный, может быть,
not
такой, но близок к
transcendental,
этому.
but
Заняться
close to
творчеством в
it.
сознании
You
Кришны.
can try
Это
to
тоже способ возвысить
engage your
эго, да?
creativity
Но
in
это
Krishna
вожделение остается,
consciousness.
становится более
Your lust
тонким,
is
более
still there,
культивированным,
but
культура
it's
появляется.
becoming
На
more
более высокую глубину, то
fine.
есть подняться. Там
You're
тоже есть
elevated
вожделение, но оно
to
проявляется в других
a
формах,
high level
уже не
of
препятствующих преданному служению.
modes of material nature. So this way it does not prevent you
Литература,
from
поэзия, живопись,
doing
театр,
something.
там,
So
не
it
знаю,
could be literature
сейчас
or
можно делать
poetry or
прямо на дому какие-то творческие ролики проповеднические,
painting
там,
or
включать музыку,
theater,
там, петь или
or you
читать,
can
или
make
говорить.
music and
Кадры. Сейчас
declamate
столько возможностей и ресурсов для
something.
творчества, пожалуйста, займитесь.
So there are many
Это для
resources for
страстных
it,
людей очень
for
важно
the
заниматься творчеством.
passion, for the people in passion.
Вот, тоже это хороший
This is
способ
a nice
заняться полезной деятельностью.
way of engaging yourself.
Ну, про мантру не забывайте,
But
конечно.
don't forget about mantra, of course.
Харе Кришна, преданные,
Hare
напоминаю, что у
Krishna,
нас
dear
осталось 7
devotees,
минут.
we have only 7 minutes left. Nanda Kishori
Харе
Mataji.
Кришна, дорогие преданные, Харе Кришна, Chaitanya Chandra Charan prabhu. Мои почтительные поклоны. Я, знаете, ну это больше такой, наверное, не вопрос, а я тут на днях читаю, ну вот то, что мы вот эту лилу читаем про Govardhana, да, изучаем
We're reading
Бхагаватам, и
and study this
слушаем, как Кришна
Govardhana
приводит
Lila
аргументы
and hearing
Нанде
Krishna
Махараджу. Ну, то есть это же
giving these
такая
arguments to Nanda
философия,
Maharaj.
ну, какая-то карма-мимамса, которую,
And
в
this
принципе,
Karma
мы особо не
Mimama's philosophy,
придерживаемся.
we are
Но
not following
когда
it.
об этом Кришна
But
говорит,
when
то
Krishna says
ты
about
как-то
it,
так, ну, не можешь
then
никаких
you
аргументов
feel
против привести,
you
что
have
ты
no
с ним
arguments against
соглашаешься, вот,
it.
да, точно. Вот.
And you
Когда
also say, yes,
это,
this
ну,
is
вот
correct.
сравнение пришло, как Господь
So I
Читания, то
had
есть
some
он,
doubts,
когда к
just like
нему
when Lord
подходили
Chaitanya,
преданные, он общался с
when
ними, когда он
someone would
еще
approach
пандитом
him
был,
when he was still a
и,
pandit,
то есть он спрашивал какой-то, ну вот
and he would ask
аргумент,
something,
сам же его опровергал,
and then he
а
would
потом сам же его доказывал,
disprove
и
this
как бы люди
argument,
путались,
and
преданные, то
then
есть
he
правда или
would
неправда,
reapprove
потому
it,
что
and
он и
people
с такой
would
стороны, и
be
здесь то же самое, я просто так поняла,
led
что когда
to
Кришна вот говорит
this
Нанде
confusion.
Махараджу,
So
что давай
this is
забудем
what I
про
felt
лилу, просто Гавардхану
when
поклоняться,
Krishna
и
was
вот все вот
saying
эти
that
аргументы,
we need to
и прямо теряешься, потому
skip
что, ну,
Indra and
не
just
знаешь,
worship the
что
Govardhan hill.
делать. Но
And
в этом,
you,
ну, это может быть
I felt
глупо так
myself like
звучит, но просто
I
я
felt myself lost.
почувствовала, что
This
очень
is what
так
I
против слов Кришны очень
felt, that
сложно
it's hard to go
какие-то
against the words of
аргументы
Krishna
приводить,
or find some
рассуждать на эту
arguments
тему. Вот. Харе Кришна.
or talk
Кришна
about it.
очень хитрый,
Yes,
очень
Krishna
хитрый.
is a big
Он
cheater.
когда приходил как Будда, он
When he
обманул
was
всех.
here as
Сказал,
the
что
Lord
Бога нет.
Buddha, he cheated all the materialistic people. He said, there is no God.
Сам он и был Богом.
But listen to me.
Как он обманул.
You need to listen to me. But he was the
Здесь то же
God.
самое. Кришна говорит карма мимамсу, но кто
And
говорит,
here is the same.
что
Krishna is
говорит
saying
Кришна.
Karma Mimamsa, but it's
Обратите
important
на это
who is
внимание.
telling. So
Не на
pay
философию,
attention
на
to that.
рассказчика обратите
Not the
внимание, что его
philosophy,
цели.
but the
Нет, и так всё
narrator.
откроется, что это Кришна, истинный
And
учитель,
everything is
это
going to be
Кришна.
revealed to you that
До
Krishna is
конца
this
эту лилу рассмотреть, мы выходим
highest
из сознания
goal.
Кришны
We
очень
need
мощно.
to
А карма
see it
мимамса
to the
это
end,
тоже
this lila to the end.
аргументированная философия,
And Karma
нормальная.
Mimamsa is
Просто
argumented
просто через
philosophy.
Кришну
It's
рассматривать,
good,
она
but
будет
it
ложная.
should not be considered without Krishna.
А
Then
если
it's
Кришна
going
рассказчик,
to
и
be
его тоже
false.
туда же
If
включить, его
Krishna is
цели
the
и мотивы
narrator,
этой философии,
it
все
he
станет,
should be included into it. Then everything is on its place.
понимаешь?
Do you get
Не
it?
забывай про Кришну. Так же, как
Don't
Гиту мы
forget
сегодня
about
читаем, не
Krishna.
нужно забывать
Just
про
like when
Кришну,
we
кто
read
рассказчик.
Gita, we need to remember who is the
Иначе даже Гита
narrator of
станет,
Gita. Otherwise,
потеряет силу.
Gita is powerless.
Гуру Махарадж, еще один вопрос из онлайна зачитаю.
One more
Примите мои поклоны.
question.
Как правильно работать над своими качествами? Как вести себя,
How do
когда
we
выходит
work
то
on
одна
our
анарха, то другая?
qualities when you see that one
Хорошо,
anartha
что выходит.
is coming out after another one? This is good. This is good. Don't hold to them. Let them go. When anartha is coming out, it means it becomes visible to us. It's not like they were not there and in the Krishna consciousness it appeared. No, it was hidden. Some situation provided this anartha, and I saw it, made it visible. So to tell more about it, in evolution process, there are 8 million forms of bodies before human body, right? So we need to go through these 8 million forms to become a devotee, sincere devotee. What does it mean? It means we have a great experience, material experience, carried with us. Every life form would be some sort of anartha. And in human form, there would be all the anarthas previously revealed in those bodies before. So don't be surprised seeing an anartha. You can understand an animal when he's eating, right? You also eat. You can understand him. You understand the activity, let's say, of communist people. Yes, we have the envy in us. That's why we can understand that. Do we understand Nazis? The Nazi guys? Yes, we have that anger. Do we understand tiger? If he's so severe? Yes, we can, because we have it. And we also have love, and we can choose. If we people, we can choose. The anarthas are there. We feel disgusted with it. But since I feel it, by means of anarthas, I can also feel something else. If we don't have any anarthas, then we would be like Shukadev Goswami. We would not feel even the presence of a woman. You would not be distinguishing a man from a woman. If we do distinguish, then we go away from it. It means we can attain spiritual knowledge and attain the love develop the love for God. So this is a process of choice. Don't be surprised or don't be worried. It's not something that we need to throw away and just chant the holy names. We chant holy name to cleanse the heart. We have the experience of all the anarthas. Okay, I see one hand, one question, and there would be the last one.
Chandra Charan prabhu, примите поклоны. Вопрос в продолжение одного из вот только что бывших вопросов. Вы сказали, что за теорией сразу же должно последовать
You said that
доказательство
practice should be
этой теории.
supporting the
И
theory.
вопрос такой, как отличить
How do we
настоящее
distinguish
доказательство от
real
фокуса?
proof from
То
a
есть
trick?
иногда люди показывают фокус
Sometimes
и говорят,
people
это доказательство. А иногда наоборот, настоящее
showing
доказательство,
a
они скажут,
trick,
что это просто фокус у тебя был.
magic.
Спасибо.
That's why our opinion should be supported by the opinion of Shastra, Guru, and Sadhu. If you're given some kind of a latest gadget, and they would say this is a proof, but we need some real practitioners out there who can distinguish it. Do they prove the absolute truth by creating some gadgets or machines? They cannot. They cannot show it practically if that the person is going to be happy going this path. There should be some wise people out there. Otherwise, people will not be able to distinguish false from truth. People like magic. So there should be some instructors, some mentors, spiritual mentors. Okay, Hare
Спасибо большое,
Krishna.
Chaitanya Chandra Charan prabhu. Дорогие преданные, короткое объявление